it's JP from Land and Title, and I wanted to go over 5 important considerations. And these are typically some of the main questions that we get from people that are looking at buying a rural property or a country home based around the financing. So the financing questions that we get. So the first one is going to be down payment. So typically, if it's zoned residential, you could certainly buy something with less than 20% down, but for the most part, we tend to see a lot of people coming to the table with a 20% down payment or more. But again, not impossible to purchase with less than 20%. The second would be the zoning. Zoning will be important from the bank's perspective. If it is zoned residential, it's typically quite easy. If it is zoned agricultural or recreational, there might be a little bit more challenge with the financing. Certainly, absolutely possible. People do it all the time, but it is definitely one of those things to consider. Third point would be the size of the property. So most A lenders are not going to have any problem financing a house and 10 acres. They typically don't have an issue with that. However, if the property is maybe 15 acres, they may only feel the value is in the house in the first 10 acres, and then they may say, okay, well, we feel that the extra 5 acres are worth X, and so you have to come up with a balance for that based on the total purchase price. The fourth thing would be the infrastructure on the property outside of the house. So whether that's an outbuilding, whether that's a barn or some fencing, that stuff might be very important to you based on what you plan to do with the property, but to the bank's perspective, it's less important, which would lead us into the fifth point, which is the house itself. So banks typically want to place most of the value for their risk model based on the house. So if the house is run down, okay, and needs a lot of work, and the barn and the other infrastructure, the fencing is all new and fantastic, they don't like that as much. What they would rather see is the house being in really good shape and holding the majority of the value, as opposed to maybe the accessory buildings or the other infrastructure that comes with the property. So anyway, those are 5 really important things that you need to consider. So if you have any other questions on this and you wanna chat with us one-on-one, feel free to reach out and be happy to answer any of your questions. Until next time, cheers.